Now, if I said to you, Jakie du legitimity Philippa, you'd know exactly what I was talking about, wouldn't you? The importance of being Philip. What? Hello everyone, welcome to and welcome back to my channel, Book Time with Elvis with me, Mark, and welcome to another edition of Tales from Beyond the Rabbit Hole. And the title I just read out to you is the Czech title for the Oscar Wilde play, The Importance of Being Earnest. Now, obviously in English we know that title works because earnest has a double meaning. It can be, of course, a man's name, also means, to do something with seriousness or something like that, right? Or with truth and seriousness. So showing how it's important. And of course that's an important part of the play. Now, why did the Czechs have it as Philip? Well, apparently it's because Philip or Philippa, Miti Philippa, meant something else. It also works with a double meaning, not quite the same idiomatic meaning as in English. Now, I have parents of a student of mine at school to thank for this, because the mother posted a poster for an upcoming production of The Importance of Being Philip in Facebook, and I said, "Oh, that's interesting. Why is it like this?" And then she said she'd find out, and her husband left a message on my Facebook kind of explaining why that was. And apparently it's fallen out of use now, but in older Czech, mit Philippa meant something like being witty or ingenious or particularly resourceful. So I suppose that works quite well. Then it got me thinking, how is this called in other countries? Now, in many other languages, of course, it's kept the same, pretty much. In others, it's changed to The Importance of Being Serious, which I don't know if it really works as a name. I mean, I suppose you have Sirius, I guess, like from the Harry Potter book, Sirius Black. I suppose it could work that way. With obviously the spelling and stuff would be different. In French, it's The Importance of Being Constant. Obviously, in Spanish, it becomes Ernesto, which is kind of interesting as well. And in Romanian, it's The Importance of Being Honest. So, that also, I suppose, works. Can a person be called honest? I don't know. Does the point of the play fall down when these titles are translated differently and you don't have the ability to have that different meaning? Now, interestingly, the Czech version has been under a few different titles. One was Můj přítel Bunbury, My Friend Bunbury, which obviously would have a different meaning, but of course keeps to something within the play. I'm not going to spoil anything there. But it got me thinking about other books and how they may have been translated or mistranslated into different languages. So, for example, I believe Animal Farm in French was at one point translated as Animals Everywhere, which could be interesting. There was a situation where in French, Brave New World was translated as The Best of All Worlds. And apparently in Swedish, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald was A Man Without Scruples. My favourite happens to be Probably Not True. It's just an apocryphal thing, but I really like it. And it was the Japanese title of The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. Apparently was mistranslated as The Angry Raisins, which, of course, as I said, would be really great if it was true, although it's unlikely. If you take the John Green book, The Fault in Our Stars, in Macedonian, it's translated as something I can't possibly say. However, the English translation of the title in Macedonian translates to something like, The world is not a factory for fulfilling wishes. Now, of course, it works in reverse as well. You have Stieg Larsson's book, known in English as The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. However, in Swedish, it's something like Men Who Hate Women. And I'm really curious and would love you, my international audience, who has any examples of these funny translations, either from a foreign language into English or English into a foreign language, to leave those down below, because I think it's a wonderful rabbit hole and a lot of fun to look at. Now, something I also find interesting are the translations between British and American. So, in English, why do books have different titles in America and in England? Whether or not the book's American, it changes when it comes over to England and vice versa. Now, there are some very famous examples, of course. There's the Where's Wally books, which I believe are called the Where's Waldo books in the United States. And then perhaps the most famous is the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which in America is known as Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I don't know why they have to change it. Is philosopher so difficult? I don't know. Philip Pullman's book, Northern Lights, in the United Kingdom, is The Golden Compass in America. Even books that have been translated from other languages, such as L'Étranger by Albert Camus, is in Britain, or was originally in Britain, as The Outsider. Whereas in America, it was The Stranger. Then we have others, particularly, we have an American book, The Outlander. The Outlander series was originally in Britain called Cross Stitch. Yeah, so the first book, Outlander, by Diana Gabaldon, was Outlander in the US and Cross Stitch in the UK. We have Shadow Dance by Angela Carter, known by the other name Honey Buzzard. After the Funeral by Agatha Christie, known as Funerals Are Fatal. The 450 from Paddington by Agatha Christie was known in the United States as What Mrs. McGillicuddy Saw, apparently. Whether or not these have changed back, but these have at one point or another been different translations. Stephen Fry's book in England, The Stars Tennis Balls, is simply known as Revenge in the United States. And James Conrad's book with a very controversial title, The N-Word of the Narcissus, is better known in the United States as The Children of the Sea, which probably is for the best, given the negative implications, of course, of that particular title. There's a couple of others. There's Michelle Hollenbeck's Atomized, known as The Elementary Particles. Celia Ahern, Where Rainbows End, is also known as Love, Rosie. So yeah, there's loads of them. And I'm really curious if you have anything to add to this, because it's often a lot of fun. I want to go down perhaps in next week or the week after to look at books whose titles had changed. Maybe the authors revised them, or the books themselves had alternative titles. That could be something also fun to look at. So that's this week's tale from Beyond the Rabbit Hole. I hope you're having a great day and look forward to seeing you all again soon. Do take care, everybody. Bye for now.